does acid reflux, either one of these options, affect your voice then?
Mucus, irritation.
You'll start to lose a lot of your top end.
Yes.
I'm just picturing the people listening to this going, oh my God, that's me.
Yeah.
You can't sing for a very long time if you have LPR.
A nice way to check for swelling at the vocal fold level, it's not perfect 100%, but on a really small E, you just take it and you slide up your whole range. E. And if you have a gap somewhere and it goes E, why don't we SOVT over that a little bit?
Ooh.
I learned this when I had speech therapy, when I had my nodules.
Yeah. Doing
that E sound over my whole range and like doing it really slowly, like way, way, way slower than what you were just doing, because I would have that gap in the middle, right? Because the little bumps on my vocal folds would keep my vocal folds from like actually phonating. So I had like this gap in the middle of my range. And so I did this really small E sound for many, many, many weeks, but it really worked to get my voice back. Hey Voxstar, and welcome to From Singer to Artist. I'm Lara Chapman, award-winning singer and songwriter turned viral vocal coach and the host of this show. At VoxTape Studios, we help singers from all over the world level up their voices by teaching them the 3 fundamental skills all singers need: technique, awareness, and artistry. Whether you're looking to go pro or just develop your voice for fun, my team and I are here to help. Check the link in the description to book your first session or grab some of our other resources. Alrighty, are you ready? Let's get started. Today, we're going to talk about your vocal health, because at the end of the day, we got to make sure your voice is healthy so that you can sing forever. And with me, I have Coach Kate and Coach Emily. Hey. Hello, hello from our team. If you're new to this channel and you don't know who we are, we're all teachers at VoxTape Studios. Anyways, thank you for talking with me about vocal health, because there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of misconceptions out there going around too. And I think we can all agree that your vocal health is probably the most important thing that you have, because if you don't have a healthy voice, it's going to be difficult to keep singing.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks that, because I'm always like, hey, I want to help you do all these crazy things that you want to do with your voice, but... we're going to make sure that you can do it sustainably so that you're not blowing out your voice. Because if you know, I'm just keeping this real short, but if you know anything about me, you've probably heard me talk about having had vocal nodules before. I've actually had a vocal injury and I have come back from the dead. And I want to make sure that you don't die in the first place.
That's right. Yeah. So we'll save you some medical bills.
Yes. Save yourself some money. Enroll in voice lessons. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, so, okay, where to start? Because there's so much.
I love that you already used the word sustainable. I think that's a really great place to start, because health is a tricky word. I think in all aspects, but especially in this industry and singing and teaching, where we have this like obsession with like being healthy and doing everything like healthy, when really we just want to stay balanced and we want to be able to sing comfortably for as long as we can.
Absolutely.
Not hours, maybe hours wise, but just longevity, lifetime.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. How do you sing for your entire life instead of having to take long breaks or, be in a show?
Cancel your tour.
Adina Menzel took 10 years off after Wicked. She was just that tired. And I mean, she earned that 10 years. Yeah, for sure. But you want to be able to hop back into another show if you want to do it, or hop back on another tour. You want to be able to do all those things and feel like, okay, I'm taking care of my voice. But I will say it is kind of like it is a pretty hefty job to, especially if you're doing professional shows, you're doing a lot of things, you need to take care of it as if you were like brushing your teeth, brushing your hair every day. It is a constant process of
it's part of
taking care of yourself.
Like you got to touch your toes every day.
Right.
To stretch your body.
And you see this a lot, like these Broadway performers that are doing 8 shows a week, or pop singers that are on tour, like, the ones that are singing just for hours on end, night after night after night. They also talk about how they don't speak during the day, because your speaking voice and your singing voice, they're the same thing. Like it comes from the same thing, the same place. So some people say like you only have like $30 vocal dollars to spend in a day. And talking a lot also comes out of that out of that wallet too, right? So you're still also spending money. And so these, you know, if you're Alphaba on Broadway or similar types of roles, you also need to be mindful of how you're using your voice, period. Not just when you're singing, but also in general too. Actually, my vocal injury was not necessarily because of how I was singing, though that was definitely an aspect and it wasn't great. But it was when I started talking every day, all day. Yeah. And I would just, you know, talk down here all the time.
Absolutely.
And then a lot of demonstrating and voice lessons, and it just became too much. I was spending too many dollars. Now, the way I was spending them probably also wasn't great, or definitely also wasn't great. Room for improvement. But yeah, the speaking was what pushed me over the edge.
Yeah.
Right. So we need to be very mindful of that too. And then I think the biggest thing is like these misconceptions. I think we need to address these real quick. Like, don't drink alcohol, don't drink coffee, don't like eat dairy products.
Caffeine, dairy, citrus.
Yeah, all of these things.
All of the above.
All of these things.
Okay, so why? Tell us why. I know why, but tell everybody why. Does this not matter?
Your body is different than any other body.
Yes.
You are a different person than the person sitting next to you or across from you. Everybody's larynx is different. They're as different as a fingerprint. So what you need and what your body needs is going to be different than what everybody else's body needs.
Yeah. 100%. And I think it's also important to know what these general things do for you. Like, if I drink some dairy, I'm gonna have a little extra mucus. But one time I was doing a gig and I was singing this like musical theater rock song, and I like chugged a latte right before, and I've never had distortion like that in my life because I had so much mucus. I was like, yeah, wow, and it was like clean and clear, and I was like, awesome. It didn't destroy my voice because I had a latte, right?
No. Have a latte. It's okay.
Have a latte. But also know, like, alcohol is probably going to dehydrate you. So just combat that. Drink a lot of water. Like, you can. It's important for you to exist as a human being. If you're Alphaba 8 shows a week on Broadway, then you really got to like
lock in.
Lock in 24/7, right? But if you are singing a fair amount, but not like high intensity all the time, then you got to live your life.
Yeah.
You got to live your life and just know what's good for you.
Yeah, I don't believe that not drinking coffee, if you love coffee, is truly caring for yourself, because if it's going to help you function and keep your mental and physical well-being going, you can certainly have your cup of coffee. Like, 1 cup of coffee a day is not going, coffee is a diuretic. And if you're not used to drinking coffee every day, like you two don't drink coffee, but I'll drink coffee. My body's used to a cup or 2 cups of coffee a day. So it doesn't dehydrate me as much as like it might dehydrate the two of you because you don't drink it every day. So a lot of times I'll get students coming in like in college who are like, I had like 3 cups of coffee today. I never drink coffee. I was like, well, no wonder you sound like this. Like, you're really dehydrated because your body's not used to it. And then they're like, oh. And I'm like, yeah. So you can drink your coffee. It's going to be okay.
And going back, do you remember Jasprit? I think she was taking lessons with you, no? Jasprit, the singer from Canada? Yes. I remember in her first lesson, she was like, I really love spicy food. Do I have to stop eating spicy food? And I'm like, no, Jasprit, you don't have to stop eating spicy food. You can keep eating spicy food. And it's just important that you know what you put in your body, how it affects you, like you were saying, and how you specifically react to it. Yes. Not just the general public, but how you specifically react to it. And also understanding that nothing you eat or drink touches your vocal folds.
Yes. Oh my God.
So if you are dehydrated, drinking water now is like, you're too late. You're going to feel more hydrated in 8 to 24 hours from now.
Hydrate for the day before.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yep.
So that's important to remember too. If you have a show coming up or whatever, a heavy voice day, make sure that you drink plenty of water the day before.
I always load up that whole week. But that's what works for me. Like I try to drink this amount of water every day.
I try.
But when I have something coming up, like I know every day that week, I'm really intentional about how much water I'm drinking. Also, so my body doesn't feel like a little kooky because I'm like drinking chugging water all the time. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say some of my worst water days are the days when I have really long teaching days. Because I'm just talking, and I forget to drink water. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I got a giant water bottle for that reason. Yeah. But you got to sleep.
Sleep.
That's like, I mean, half your problems are going to go away in your life if you go to sleep.
Yeah. It also helps you learn your music, learn your words, learn your monologues and everything much faster if you sleep on it.
Absolutely.
Like your brain, that's when your brain digests your food, your brain food for the day is while you're sleeping. So it's really important that you sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Sleeping. I mean, that's how your body's going to heal itself.
Yeah.
If you're if you're fatigued, what you do with any other part of your body is rest it.
Yeah.
So you got to rest.
You kind of have to think about it. I feel like with voice health and like, taking care of your voice hygiene, you have to think about it like, what are things that if I eat or if I drink bother me? Like I have a few things that like inflame me because I have a chronic illness. So I don't eat those. But like soy is one of those things. I don't eat soy because it hurt. You know what I mean? Like it make me hurt. Yeah. And so it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, well, like if you think about it in a more like health way, like, okay, dairy gives me tummy ache. Well, I wonder if it's doing something to my voice. Okay, maybe I'm going to avoid dairy or let's test this out. Let's see. Let me have dairy, see how my voice feels. If it doesn't feel as good as maybe it does on your best day, then maybe it's like a thing you need to avoid. You know what I mean? But it's always, I feel like it's always this one size fits all thing. Like I had to one of the guys I worked for at a university emailed all of his singers and said, don't eat dairy before your recording session. And I was like, these people are just saying these things.
Yes.
And this man had like a PhD and he was saying that, it's just like, it's like
what?
you don't need to say.
Not everything on the internet is true.
Yeah.
Except for this video.
Yeah. Everything you hear from us is 100% true and will always be true for the rest of history.
I've never lied on the internet. And neither has anyone else.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Acid reflux is something that we could maybe address too. What are your thoughts on acid reflux?
So there are two kinds of acid reflux that we want to break down. So there's GERD. That's the more common kind that you're experiencing, or that you're likely to experience.
Yeah, you'll feel that.
Yeah, you'll feel that. Then there's LPR, laryngopharyngeal, which is that. Those are all the things that we need to sing. I mean, GERD we do as well. And that is not as much the acid in your stomach, but it's the pepsin rising. There's a holistic thing. You know what I'm going to say?
Are you going to talk about Reflux Gourmet?
Yes. I recommend it to everyone who's like, my GERD isn't working. My GERD stuff isn't working. Well, this is like really cheap to buy and try it. And it's holistic.
Can I explain what LPR is, though? Yeah. So LPR is laryngopharyngeal reflux, fancy word, pretty much just means that you've got reflux that's coming up and it's hitting your vocal folds and causing inflammation, causing mucus. Like our body's like, oh, I got to protect, let's make some mucus, right? And it can be caused by any of the foods that might be a trigger. So it's like, it's a choose your own adventure here. Your body's choosing its adventure anyway. So the reflux comes up, splashes on your vocal folds. You can't feel it because there are no nerve endings on your vocal folds. Big. You cannot feel LPR, but it is everywhere. It is so sneaky. It's everywhere. I think most of my college students have a little version of LPR. I have one specific student who has a really intense case of LPR. It like runs in his family. And we've been on the LPR grind for a while. But it's really hard, and it's really hard to diagnose because a lot of like, laryngologists like don't work in like the singing world. So it's not as much of a problem, but it is very, very common. Yeah. Like and I didn't even know it existed until grad school. Yes. So
the same person who does.
How does acid reflux, either one of these options, affect your voice then?
Mucus, irritation.
You'll start to lose a lot of your top end.
Yes.
I'm just picturing the people listening to this going, oh my God, that's me.
Yeah.
You can't sing for a very long time if you have LPR. I'm trying to think of some of the other symptoms.
Yeah, I feel like
those are kind of the big ones.
That's really the big ones. A nice way to check for swelling at the vocal fold level. It's not perfect 100%, but on a really small E, you just take it and you slide up your whole range. E. And if you have a gap somewhere and it goes E. Why don't we SOVT over that a little bit?
Ooh, I learned this when I had speech therapy, when I had my nodules.
Yeah. Doing
that E sound over my whole range and like doing it really slowly, like way, way, way slower than what you were just doing, because I would have that gap in the middle, right? Because the little bumps on my vocal folds would keep my vocal folds from like actually phonating. So I had like this gap in the middle of my range. And so I did this really small E sound throughout my whole range for many, many, many weeks. But it really worked to get my voice back. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. That's a cool. I like that one. That's fun. Yeah. I've never tried that. I should try that with my LPR kids. I mean, you know, the college kids are always doing something they shouldn't be doing.
That's the point of being in college.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't want to know, but have fun.
Yeah.
And so then vocally, like, because these are all things, what we've discussed so far, that are not singing things, right? They're like, what do you ingest in your body and how your body reacts to it. But like vocally, there's a lot of things that we need to adjust to make sure we can keep the voice, quote unquote, healthy, sustainable, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And warm up. All right, let's start with that.
That one goes without saying.
Warm up your voice. It doesn't need to be longer than 15, 20 minutes.
Listen, I could even say as long, like 2 to 3 minutes. Because here's the thing.
Do something.
People get up on stage. I have friends in Brooklyn. They don't even warm up. They just get on stage and start singing. And then they're like, oh man, sometimes the notes just like don't want to come out. I'm like, well, did you warm up?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no. And I was like, all you need to do is take a straw out of your coffee and just hum for like 2 or 3 minutes. Just if that's the least you can do, please just do that.
Yes.
Like
I always say to people who like hate warming up, do it in a circular motion. So like,
yes.
Don't worry about being on specific pitches. Don't worry about the formality of it all. Just go through start in your speaking range, then go up to your comfortable head and bounce around. Just use your voice before you use your voice.
Yeah. Like hit like the highest or like the loudest note you're going to do, the lowest note you're going to do. Make sure that you've got all that. And like, if that's going to be that's the amount of time you have, that's the amount of time you have.
Yeah.
You know, I do like a 5-minute warm up before like a big show. That's it. 5 minutes.
Yeah. I like to do the whole thing.
Yeah. You like to do a long one. Yeah. And some people prefer that.
Yeah. It's totally up to you. But then we talked about on another episode when I did the Wicked Open Call, and I was working with you for the Wicked Open Call. Yeah. And I was like, well, it's cold and I have to wait all morning. So I'm not going to warm
waking
up.
at the absolute the ass crack of dawn.
Yeah. And I'm not going to warm up then and wake up not only the people I was staying with, but also then everyone in New York City. Yeah. You know? And then like, what, am I going to go do it outside? No, I'm not going to do that. But I spent enough time like talking a little bit to use my voice, right? And then check in. I checked in. I sang the song without a warm up, not slamming it, but just kind of seeing like, what am I capable of without a warm up? Figured out what I needed to do and went from there. But it's just figure out what works for your voice, you know? But don't skip the warm up.
Yeah, don't do it.
Touch your toes sort of thing.
I mean, if you look at a sprinter even, like not just even a marathon runner, but just a sprinter, it's like a short little thing, but they don't like just live their day and then they go sprint like Usain Bolt. Like, no, he stretches and does like he sprints a couple times before he sprints.
Yeah,
you know,
like I feel like sometimes singers forget, and I can be included in this too, to treat my voice like it's part of my body.
100%.
You know, like it's part of my body. So if I'm gonna do ballet, I'm definitely gonna work my ankles a little bit before I do that.
Yeah,
that's gonna help me do a better job in general, and I'm not gonna be as sore the next day.
I feel like I wonder if that is because we don't see our voice.
You
know what I mean? So. It's like there's no visual indicator.
We don't warm up to talk.
Yeah, that like you like feel like, okay, I'm warm. Like you can feel like if I'm playing the saxophone, you can feel, okay, my hands are warmed up. I'm ready to go. Right. Like, you know, like my embouchure is in place. Like everything feels good. With singing, it's just like, yeah, people will stand up and sprint.
And just,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think it's interesting because I've been doing these wedding band gigs and I noticed that none of the singers warm up. It is crazy to me because I'm like, I've got a straw around my neck. And I'm like in between, I'll just push the mic away from me and I'll just be like singing, just making sure everything's good. And these guys are just like, And these guys are just going raw into Whitney Houston. And I'm like, oh my God, could never be me, but good for them. Like, you know what I mean?
And the thing is, like, if you didn't warm up, it still could probably sound great.
Yes.
But if you didn't warm up for every gig forever, that forever is going to be way shorter. That forever is going to be way shorter.
It's an
and
interesting.
also when you're, you know, in your late teens, early 20s, you can get away with it. But eventually it catches up with you.
Yes, you spry youngins, you.
Little spring chickens. So, okay, warm up. You mentioned like you sometimes like to push away the mic, do a little bit of strophonation. The little vocal breaks, right?
Love a vocal break. A little nap, a vocal nap.
I always say put a cool down in your song. Like if someone's like belting, and they have a second to go, whatever, you know, like put it in your song. Give yourself a chance to just be like, okay, back.
That's such a
quick little reset.
Cool down after.
Cool down, especially if you're running a vocal marathon, you know, just a little straw.
Just keep walking after.
A little, because you're not going to stop running right after you sprint. You know what I mean?
And by the way, we have both warm-ups and cool-downs on this channel. If you don't know what to do to warm up and cool down, go check that out. Okay, it's right there for you. Just check out our channel. Another big thing, and that was huge for me, was releasing tension. And like not like, I'm a muscle through kind of girl, like very bottom heavy. And so I just had a lot of tension and a lot of weight in my voice. So I guess if I were to generalize that even more, it's prioritizing what singing feels like rather than what you sound like, and just making sure that whatever you do, obviously you're not going to be 100% successful, right? Like sometimes you do something and you're like, that didn't feel good. Let me try that again, right? Like that happens. That still happens to me to this day, and I'm still working on that. But that comes with the territory of exploring, right?
Of course.
But don't just continue to push through thinking that it's going to get easier with repetition. I always thought that. I was like, well, it feels hard now, but you know, everybody says practice and keep doing it and it's going to get easier. All right, I'm waiting for it to get easier, and it never got easier. And so, you know, don't just push through. Pay attention to what singing feels like. Make adjustments if it doesn't feel good. If it feels stuck in your throat or a little tickle in your throat, or just like you're working really hard. Make adjustments.
Easy. I don't like saying that, but like it should feel easy.
You shouldn't.
It shouldn't be like the hardest thing you've ever done.
No.
Planking should be harder.
I like to say like. Did you say blinking?
I said planking.
Planking. I also heard blinking.
Blinking. I do that automatically.
Blinking should be harder. No, planking should be harder than singing a song.
Yes. I will say though, like, I like to say, are you training or are you straining?
Yes.
Because things can feel weird. And unnatural in a moment.
Unfamiliar.
But you kind of have to trust your body and ask yourself, is this hurting me, or does it feel like I'm lifting some heavy weights right now, and I'm learning how to squat with like a little bit more weight. You know what I mean?
Heavy chest is going to feel like heavy chest, and a high belt is going to feel like a high belt.
And it's normal to feel fatigued at the end of that. It's if you go back a couple hours later and you're still fatigued, that's when you want to like be like, okay, that was a little too much. Or if we go a whole day, you wake up the next day, your voice is still tired. Another indication that you probably went a little too hard, and that was probably your max capacity. So you want to pull it back a little bit.
So let's talk about that real quick, if you don't mind. How long, and this is going to be different for every singer, but, you know, let's say for people that are just starting out, how long should they be practicing so that they're not overdoing it?
Well, it depends on what we're doing.
We want to talk about Lynn Helding.
Motor learning.
Well, if we're talking about the most efficient amount of time that you could practice in a day, it's going to be 20 minutes. That's it. After that, you can certainly keep going if you want, but 20 minutes is going to be the most beneficial for your brain, for your voice, for your body. We can't practice hours on end like in a like a piano player in undergrad can. Like,
and as someone taking a piano class in undergrad, I could not practice for hours on end doing that either.
Yeah. But 20 minutes is ideal.
Yeah.
And I know that feels kind of short, but in order for your brain to like fully understand what's going on, and you can read this in Dr. Lynn Helding's book. It's called The Musician's Mind. I have it. I can see.
Yeah, I see the cover with the brain and the cloud. Yeah.
She did a whole research on how musicians learn and how they get better, and 20 minutes was like the sweet spot. So if you're like, should I be practicing for 2 hours? The answer is no. You should be practicing for about 20 minutes. After that, it's definitely helpful, but it's probably not going to move the needle much more than 20 minutes would have.
And I think that's kind of comforting for singers to know that they don't have to be practicing hours on end. Like, we have a lot of students that they have a full-time job, and they're like, I don't, and maybe even kids too. Like, I don't have the time for this. And I'm like, it literally only takes 20 minutes. 20 minutes, 4 to 5 times a week. You've got that.
You will. And you're getting good sleep. You will learn. You will learn. Your brain will regenerate. Your body will get used to, what am I asking? You know what I mean? Because it is so much about like getting your body and your muscles to like link up together, right?
Coordinate that mind. I talk about the mind muscle connection all the time. Just like letting things hit your nervous system and your body understanding like, okay, I'm not in danger if I belt. Okay. Right.
Yeah, and that's what that felt weird. And that's when you say, is it training or straining? Because our nervous system can be like, what the heck is this? Oh my God, I've never done this before. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, let's give it a second. Does it feel weird or does it feel like bad? Right? You know what I mean? I ask so many questions in voice lessons.
Me too. Well, I think
I'm always like, how did that feel?
Always. Tell me, I love
we were talking about this.
Tell me about your experience. What was that experience like for you? And I also,
that's one I picked up from you. What was that experience like?
I like that.
Because it kind of captures, because sometimes when I say, how was that, they give me their like opinion instead of like their experience.
Right. Yeah. That's why I'm like, how did it feel? Because like it might sound different than how it feels.
Yes, absolutely. Because sometimes things sound like, wow, that was crystal clear. And they're like, that was the most painful thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Or it sounds super tight and they're like, easy.
Yeah.
Like, all right, what's going on? There's something to coordinate there.
Yeah.
Oh, be intentional with your practice as well.
Yes.
Just singing for 20 minutes, if that's your goal, great. But if you're let's say you have one voice lesson with someone here and we're like, hey, sing in your head voice for 20 minutes. We'll probably give you something more specific, but let's say that's what we do. And then go sing in your head voice for 20 minutes and practice that. And in that first stage of learning, you want to be doing the same thing each time. Let it get a little monotonous. When it starts getting boring and easy, huge win. Huge win.
I love it when they go, oh, I kind of spaced out. I was like, perfect. I didn't want you to be thinking about it. You know?
Yeah. There are exercises where you use your brain, and there are exercises where like, just let your eyes glaze over and like zone out and just like let your body do its thing.
I like to add movements to exercising, like when I'm singing a song or doing an exercise, just to help me get out of my head, and it releases so much tension. I like doing that. That's kind of like my way of zoning out. Just like distracting myself from whatever it is I'm doing, right? Like shaking my head or whatever.
And lately I've been saying this to a lot of my students, but tension is often your body's Band-Aid to something. It is not a solution that we want, right? It's not the most helpful, but it's your body being like, oh, I know how to help you get that. No, we're just going to pull your tongue back and just
we're gonna
hold on.
Scream at this.
We're going to squeeze as hard as we can, and then we're going to like blow the air through. Yeah, perfect. So look at the root of what's going on. And that really helps. And there are lots of professionals who can help you do that if you don't feel confident in doing that yourself and looking inward like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think that covers the most important things for like vocal health, vocal sustainability.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you guys are like, they need to know this? Singers need to know this.
I know some of you are watching this. Practice is not just putting up your repertoire and singing through it.
Yeah.
That is not what practice is. You're doing vocal exercises. You're adjusting spots that are tricky. You're actively, like Emily was saying, using your brain. You're not just singing through everything and said, yeah, that sounded okay. I'll have students who be like, yeah, I went to a practice room and sang all my songs. I was like, cool. Did you warm up? Cool. Did you practice anything? Did you adjust? Well, no, I don't know. Yes, you do. You know how to do it because we do it every single week. Yeah. And if you don't know, there are a lot of great resources in the green room to practice or to learn how to practice, because practicing is an art.
Yeah.
I'll tell you when I know how to practice.
We need to have a whole episode on
practice actually might be good.
Practice.
Yeah.
That would be a great one.
We'll do that next.
Yeah.
We are changing our schedule.
Yeah.
Based on what comes up and what's important. No, because it is super important. Because at the end of the day, you have to practice to see progress. But
only 1 hour a week is not enough.
Yeah.
To get better. You do have to pull yourself, you do need to practice.
Yeah.
Well, and with that, know what your goal is as a singer. If this is your favorite hobby and you don't like to practice, try to get yourself to practice a couple times. If you're trying to gig, get in that practice room.
Yeah.
Get in the practice room.
Yeah. Every job comes with things that you don't really want to do, including being a singer and being a performer. And if that is practicing for you, suck it up, buttercup. You just gotta sometimes do the stuff that you don't want to do, but you just have to.
And also remember that you're singing, so you kind of do want to do it.
Yes.
You just have to remind yourself that you actually want to do it. I have one more thing about vocal health. So take all these awesome things that we said, and then when you go sing your song, just don't worry about it. Don't squeeze and push through and go out of your way to hurt yourself. That's not what I'm saying. But when you become so obsessed with health, you lose the art.
100%.
So be aware of what's going on. And that's why the practice is not just the songs, right? The practice is the exercises. It's all about building habits that work for you.
Yes.
So that you don't have to think about the vocal health while you're singing. That's the purpose of it.
Yes.
When technique and artistry meet, that's when we get this sweet spot of almost like meditation.
Yes.
You are on a higher plane of existence.
You're existing as an artist.
And it happens. It does happen.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. The purpose of technique is to service your artistry.
Period.
And I would
put it
also
on a t-shirt.
Yeah, put it on a t-shirt. There you go. Merch coming soon. And then I also think because sometimes a lot of singers are worried that they're going to have a vocal injury or something like that. And yes, I had one, but also I was doing a lot of things that were not great. And I do think that, first of all, vocal injuries are not the worst thing on the planet. It happens. It happens to a lot of us.
It happens it happens to most singers.
Yes.
At
and
some
that's
point.
okay. It's just like a football player. The likelihood that they have an injury at some point is pretty high. But also know that it takes more than hitting one note in a not optimal way. It takes more than that to have an injury. Don't be scared to try out things.
Yeah, don't be scared to try out things. Don't take... it goes back to my other point. Don't let the fear of the vocal health monster make you hide and not use your voice.
Yeah.
It's just... build those habits.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to build habits that help you.
Yeah.
I love it.
And don't feel bad if you do have an injury.
Yes.
No, don't.
Don't
oh my
feel
God.
bad if you have an injury. It's common.
The voice culture is so odd about that. So,
and that's why I'm making it a point to share it every time I get the chance.
I love it.
So if you've watched a lot of our videos, you're probably like, girl, we know.
Yeah.
But
It's so important to know.
for somebody, it's the first thing that they see. And I'm like, it's okay if you've had that. There is a way back. And I'm now a better singer than I was before I had that injury. And I almost in a weird way, I'm thankful it happened because it made me realize what I needed to change to actually get better. I'm not saying I wish a vocal injury on anybody.
But it's everybody knows an athlete who's torn their ACL. Everybody knows someone who's torn their ACL. And we don't sit around and go, they're so horrible at playing soccer.
They can have the best technique in the world. It's
and
just
then
something
you
that happens.
step on it wrong once.
Yep.
Things happen.
Yeah.
Things happen and you have to live your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't even come from singing or
Yeah,
speaking. It
sometimes-
comes from coughing.
Yeah, sometimes you
'Cause
sneeze
you're
too
sick.
hard.
Like, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
So sing, have fun. Don't worry about it too much.
Yep.
But do check in with yourself to make
Yeah.
sure you're feeling good.
Get in tune with your body.
Yeah.
And trust your body.
Yes.
Trust and honor what your body says to you.
It's giving you the signals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving you the signals.
I love it. Perfect. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Yay, this was fun.
Yay.
Awesome.
We could talk about this for years.
Thank you, everybody, for checking in. If you're at all worried about anything, send us a message. Like just on Instagram, for example, at VoxTape Studios. Send us a message there if you're worried about something. We're happy to help. You can also do a vocal evaluation if you're like, I have this weird gap in my voice and I don't know what I need to do to get around it. We can have a listen, check out what's going on, give you some recommendations. We're here to help, okay? If there's anything we can do for you, just let us know. Alrighty, I love it. Thank you, ladies, for joining. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.